Rita Vega, stalking in the path with light, 98XL380, while amplification, and they're all monitoring what I'm uploading onto the internet. So let me show you what's going on. Everybody's going to federal prison. Tiffany Sherez's teenage daughter, Silverview Townhomes, crossing path. This is demonic pacing, walking down the stairs, demonic pacing. And they're all monitoring what I'm uploading onto the internet about them. Everybody's going to federal prison. This is the ongoing criminal operation. The people, indeed, violent sex offenders, keeping me under surveillance as I wake up in the morning, documenting at 6 o'clock where that same entity is stalking in a helicopter. I'm monitoring right now where Nova Contractors is in relevant position, engaging in criminal summoning. She's going to federal prison. And she's also on the grounds engaging in criminal presence with the state. And all the entity begins sounding helicopter activity right now, at 9:19 a.m., right now while I'm uploading it. While I'm capturing, showing you their pattern of conduct. So this is what I'm doing. Literally itemizing everyone's criminal activity and all of the entity that's engaged in Title 18 criminal conduct. That's federal stalking on the venue of the internet with communication devices, with simultaneity to my operation of my communication device in the specific environment, not coincidentally engaging in the elements of monitoring, which is both a communication of a threat by the demon-possessed entity that's engaged in public corruption, aware of the fact that their criminal activity is being documented for purposes of enforcing your rights against that government that doesn't have a right to keep you under surveillance, with the people of the state in the shoes of the state, not exercising any privacy rights, being sex offenders and terrorists, stalking with that government, while they're also keeping you under surveillance on the venue of the internet and literally apprised of everything that you document about their psychotic course of conduct. That's occurring in the workplace, including CARLO Lopez, license plate 9 Frank Charlie Xavier 513. He's going to federal prison, like I stated, and so is Heather Teal. Okay, this is the entity that's referencing itself in the document, which is a criminal act of obstruction of justice, speaking to the vicious terrorists that are the people of the state, in the shoes of the state, group stalking in concert and on behalf of the state, in the in the crime scene that is no natural environment. You already saw yesterday, by the way, the entity maintaining presence via helicopter and the people of the state in the same environment where the light source is already present over the apartment complex in alignment to my living room window. Let me be clear. First of all, this person is going to federal prison. CARLO Lopez is going to federal prison. Let me point out this whole crew inside of 9DKF194, they're going to federal prison. The entity sounds sirens. This is the entity that shows hostility while it repeats the criminal acts of monitoring. Roger Chu's going to federal prison. While they are aware of everything that I'm capturing in screenshots about them, the entity begins sounding sirens, amplifying helicopter activity. Rafael Lopez Baños, Marina Davila, they're going to federal prison. They're stalking in the path while the entity is amplifying helicopter activity, which is what I documented here. Okay, while this sex offender is molesting me with engineered light as stalking in the path, this is somebody that wants to block your path, doing so with a method of light, demonstrating demon possession in the workplace where you have a right to not be subject to the state's criminal obsession of stalking you. Okay, and then the psychopaths are in a hostile psychopath and then engage in more of that criminal conduct. This is a sex offense, molesting me because you want to stalk on behalf of the demons that are LAPD and the demons that are around in relevant position, all aware of what I'm doing on my cell phone, sounding sirens. Those are the demons that are going to be removed from the positions that they hold in fire departments and driving ambulances, which is relevant to the hospitals where the entity is engaged in the pattern of conduct, exercising control and influence over people in medical conditions. And these are demons that are group stalking. Okay, that's relevant to what I'm documenting while they're sounding sirens. It's criminal summoning. And all of the entity is hostile because they all know at the same time while I'm documenting that they know exactly what I'm uploading, what I'm capturing in screenshots. She's going to federal prison. She's on the grounds right now, monitoring in the path and on the venue of the internet. And she is also in the shoes of what is Nova Contractors, who's going to be civilly and criminally prosecuted, sending their employees regularly onto the grounds to participate in terrorism, knowledgeable about the fact that they're an American citizen, is documenting it and not in any way ceasing to engage in that criminal conduct, but continuously engaging in the pattern of acts of retaliation, which is relevant to enhancement to federal charges and sentencing. And they're also engaged in what is federal stalking on the venue of the internet. And I want to be clear, both under the fake sun and in concert with the people where the light source is covered up, which is what's occurring right now. The entity is documented. Nova Contractors are the same demon-possessed entity stalking in the path with engineered light that's moving underneath parked cars. Recall the documentation, while engineered light inside of the vacant apartments that they're painting and cleaning cleaning, the same elements of impossible light activity, light source over my head, federal stalking on the venue of the internet, monitoring me inside of the private space. They're going to federal prison while they're on the grounds, group stalking with the state. Sounding sirens is a federal offense for purposes of federal prison. Also, group stalking in concert with the state, that's amplifying helicopter activity or crossing path or in a manner that you can see it in concert with the state, both the audible activity and the presence, the visibility of that state that's stalking with the people is grounds of federal prison. So the entity is doing so with simultaneity to its knowledge about what I'm doing on my phone. That's not a coincidence. While I'm doing this, capturing screenshots of Tiffany Sherez, capturing screenshots of the crew inside of the vehicle, Roger Chu and all of the crew that come pick him up, this demonic pacing on the grounds while the entity is amplifying helicopter activity, while this demon, this clown, calling himself an employee for a company that's a third party, and all he's doing is pacing back and forth in engineer light, being a demon. And I capture close-up images for you to see that, monitoring and pacing with the Olga Rafael Lopez, who is Olga Lopez Baños, who was group stalking in the path. They're monitoring together, okay, while he's conversing with me about SCI business, that's malice. And while she is maintaining presence in the path, they're all engaging in what is demonic pacing. This is light activity that's on the wall while he's walking toward me, walking backwards, dancing on the curb, walking back and forth, while the entity is doing so on behalf of the state. Okay, so while I document that, the entity is sounding helicopter activity. I just want to make sure I break that down for you while I'm documenting again the ongoing evidence of stalking by the state in the workplace while you are enforcing your rights. That is an ongoing threat to your life, while the entity that is threatening your life is hostile because you have the wherewithal and the audacity to enforce your rights against them, who, by the way, engaged in an egregious criminal act. Referencing the people of the state who are group stalking in your criminal act of an employee warning notice by a third-party company whose employees and criminal acts on the venue of the internet, using the phones, the emails, everything, violating federal housing laws in doing so, acting in concert with that state. That is documented on a daily basis, violating my quiet enjoyment while they are referencing all of this. The absurd, like I've stated, the absurd level of malice, and literally every word is going to be analyzed with regard to how long they deserve to sit in federal prison. Okay, that's what Heather Till and Don Nagle are looking forward to. While I'm documenting their criminal conduct, while the people of the state living at the property, working for the company, coming onto the grounds to act pursuant to the same identical pattern of conduct, and then that entity composed a letter for me to literally submit in federal court against them. It doesn't get any more foolish than that. This is P.O.C. and again, Nova Contractors License 8LJB972. She's on the grounds group stalking and engaging in federal stalking with the state. P.O.C.